Mantis shrimp, the underwater prizefighter with a punch that breaks physics. These animals measure just 4 to 6 inches long, roughly the size of a smartphone, but they can strike with the force of a .22 caliber bullet. We're talking 50 mph acceleration in a fraction of a millisecond, creating a shockwave so powerful it vaporizes water into plasma bubbles that reach temperatures matching the surface of the sun. That's 8,500 degrees Celsius in a bubble smaller than a pea, happening right there in the ocean. Their secret weapon is a spring-loaded club appendage that stores energy like a compressed coil, then releases it faster than their muscles could ever manage alone. The impact is so violent it creates cavitation bubbles, secondary explosions that hit prey twice. Once from the strike, again from the collapsing bubble. Aquarium workers know this animal well because mantis shrimp regularly shatter the glass walls of their tanks, not on purpose, just by being themselves. They can see colors humans can't even imagine, with 16 types of color receptors compared to our 3, detecting polarized light and ultraviolet wavelengths that exist outside our visible spectrum. Watching a mantis shrimp hunt, you're witnessing one of nature's most over-engineered predators, proof that size means absolutely nothing when evolution decides to go nuclear. Mimic octopus, the ocean's master of disguise, and honestly, one of the most intelligent invertebrates on Earth. This animal doesn't just change color like other octopuses. It studies its enemies, then becomes them. A mimic octopus can impersonate over 15 different species, transforming its body shape, color pattern, texture, and behavior to match lionfish, sea snakes, jellyfish, stingrays, and flatfish depending on what predator it's trying to fool. When threatened by damselfish, it becomes a banded sea snake, its natural predator. When a different threat appears, it switches costumes in seconds, flattening its body and gliding like a stingray, or puffing up and spreading its arms like a lionfish's venomous spines. But here's what's remarkable. The mimic octopus doesn't just copy appearance. It mimics movement patterns, swimming styles, and hunting behaviors of the creatures it impersonates. This requires not just physical flexibility, but cognitive understanding of what makes each animal threatening. Scientists believe this is learned behavior, meaning individual octopuses study their environment and develop their repertoire over time. They can squeeze their entire body through gaps smaller than their eyeball because they have no skeleton, just a hard beak buried in soft tissue. The mimic octopus was only discovered in 1998 off the coast of Indonesia, which means we've had smartphones longer than we've known this animal exists. Evolution spent millions of years creating the ultimate actor, and it lives in muddy coastal waters where most divers never bother to look. Immortal jellyfish, and the name isn't an exaggeration. It's a biological fact. Turritopsis dohrnii can reverse its aging process, transforming from an adult back into a juvenile polyp stage, essentially restarting its life cycle whenever it faces stress, injury, or old age. Most jellyfish grow up, reproduce, then die. This species grows up, reproduces, then decides to go backwards, sinking to the ocean floor and reorganizing its cells into a polyp colony that will eventually spawn new medusae. It's called transdifferentiation, the same cells changing their function entirely. Muscle cells becoming nerve cells, reproductive cells becoming stem cells, rewriting their identity at the genetic level. Theoretically, an individual immortal jellyfish could live forever, cycling between adult and polyp stages indefinitely as long as disease, predation, or injury doesn't kill it first. The challenge with studying them is they're tiny, just 4.5 millimeters wide, smaller than a pinky nail, and they drift across oceans with currents, making it impossible to track individuals long term. Scientists are studying their genes to understand how cellular reprogramming works, hoping to unlock mechanisms that could one day apply to human aging and regenerative medicine. But immortality in nature isn't the gift it sounds like. These jellyfish are spreading globally, hitchhiking in ballast water of cargo ships, potentially living forever while disrupting ecosystems they were never part of. The immortal jellyfish proves that evolution can solve death itself, but surviving forever doesn't mean thriving, just refusing to disappear. Hagfish, the ocean's slime artillery, and possibly the most disgusting defense mechanism ever evolved. When a predator attacks, hagfish release thick mucus from glands along their body. But this isn't normal slime. It's a fibrous protein gel that expands to 10,000 times its original volume in less than a second, clogging gills, suffocating attackers, and turning surrounding water into a choking cloud of snot. A single hagfish can produce enough slime to fill a bucket in minutes, and predators who bite down find their mouths instantly cemented shut with expanding goo. Sharks have been found suffocated with hagfish slime packed in their gills, killed by an animal with no bones, no scales, and barely a brain. But here's what makes hagfish truly alien. They can tie their boneless bodies into knots, sliding the knot down their length to scrape off their own slime or gain leverage while eating. They have 4 hearts, 2 main and 2 accessory, pumping blood through a body that's essentially a muscular tube. Their skull is made of cartilage, and they can survive hours without oxygen in deep ocean mud, where most fish would die instantly. Hagfish are scavengers, burrowing into dead whale carcasses and eating from the inside out, consuming flesh through a tongue lined with tooth-like structures that rasp away tissue. They've existed virtually unchanged for 300 million years, outlasting dinosaurs by being too disgusting to mess with. Watching a hagfish release its slime cloud underwater, you realize evolution doesn't always choose elegance. Sometimes it just chooses chaos. Archerfish, the sniper of shallow waters with aim that would make a marksman jealous. These fish hunt insects above the waterline by shooting them down with jets of water fired from their mouths, hitting targets up to 6 feet away with accuracy that compensates for light refraction between water and air. That's a physics problem most humans couldn't solve. But archerfish calculate the adjustment instinctively, accounting for the angle, distance, and size of prey in milliseconds. They can adjust water pressure midstream, making the rear of the water jet travel faster than the front, so it hits as a single powerful slug rather than a spray. And here's what's wild. Juvenile archerfish learn by watching adults, practicing their aim for months before becoming proficient hunters. They can recognize human faces, distinguishing between people who feed them and strangers, a cognitive ability rare in fish. When they knock an insect into the water, multiple archerfish will converge on the target. But there's a hierarchy. The fish who made the shot usually gets first claim unless a larger individual challenges. This is tool use, problem solving, and social learning combined in an animal most people think of as mindless. The archerfish reminds us that intelligence isn't about having a big brain. It's about solving the problems your environment throws at you, even if that means mastering ballistics from underwater. If you want to see more ocean abilities explained, click the video on screen now and subscribe.